Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Hi, everyone. I'm Leanne Chesterfield. I'm the director here at the Harn, and I just want to say, first and foremost, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is the beginning of one of our great Art After Dark evenings that I'll tell you about in just a moment. We have every Thursday night, Art After Dark until 9 p.m. I'd like to thank a few people. There's some really important people with us, and I want to make sure that I thank them. And if they're not here, thank them anyway, because that is how these things come together. They are what make this possible. So I do want to thank, of course, for being here tonight, our artist, José Bedia, for coming to talk to us about his pieces, his work, his career, and then specifically about the works that we've been living with. Um, it's been an honor to live with them in Under the Spell of the Palm Tree. Um, and I do want to thank the Center for Humanities and the Public Sphere for making this talk tonight possible. Thank you to them. And I'd also like to thank our sponsors for the exhibition. As I mentioned, they are the reason that all of this comes together the way that it does, because these are major productions on a lot of people's part. The staff, of course, of the Harn, I want to thank you, because really couldn't be done without the staff, of course. I do want to thank our presenting sponsor, the Cuban Arts Group, first and foremost. Additional support from the Jesse Ball DuPont Fund, Ken and Laura Burns, Fine Farkash and Parla Piano, Visit Gainesville, Alachua County, Bryson Foundation, Gail Olson, Rick and Osa Thompson, Wells Fargo Foundation, Barbara Anderson, Maggie Labarda and John Cherry, Manny and Mercy Kiraga, Cox Communications, the Latin Art Corps, and Dr. Art Consultant LLC, and other generous donors. Thank you so much to everyone. It really takes a lot of people coming together, as I mentioned. Of course, I want to thank Susie and Mitchell Rice for sharing their gorgeous, wonderful, amazing collection with all of us. We've been, like I said, living with this for many, many months now. We're so proud to be sharing this with our community. As I always say to people, this collection is your collection. This museum is your museum. I'd also like to thank our curators of the exhibition, Gabby Azqui and David Horta, as well as our coordinating curator here at the Harn, Dulce Roman. Thank you so much to them. As I mentioned, tonight is Art After Dark. We do have a reception after the talk where we can continue having more conversations with each other and with the artists afterwards. So please join us. There will be refreshments, and of course, you can enjoy not only the exhibition, but the entire museum until 9 p.m. tonight. So please, please enjoy your museum. I'd now like to say a few words about Gabby Azqui before she comes up and introduces our speaker, José Bedia. Gabby is an art curator, cultural manager, editor, and lecturer, among many, many other things. In 2016, Gabby began her tenure as a curator for the nonprofit organization Cuban Arts Group and the Rice Collection, where she currently holds the position of chief curator. Her collaboration with these two associated organizations has led to more than 30 successful art exhibitions and events. And she's also the co-author of this fantastic catalog that I absolutely love. I carry it around with me everywhere, and it's on sale in the bookshop, which is also open tonight. So please get your copy and buy one for all of your friends. It is absolutely gorgeous, and I absolutely love sharing this with people. So please now join me in welcoming to the podium Gabby Azqui. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you all for being here tonight, and thank you to José Bedia for being here with us. For me, it's an honor to present him to this talk that is part of all the events we're doing with the exhibition Under the Spell of the Palm Tree, the Rice collection of Cuban art. And about Bedia, I have many things to say, but I will be very short. Bedia is an artist whose art, lifestyle, and persona are seamlessly intertwined. Born in Havana, Cuba in 1959, he's one of the most influential Latin American artists of his generation, one of the leaders of the Cuban art movement that emerged in the 1980s. His exceptional draftsmanship, remarkable pictorial ability, and captivating installations reveal an artist whose work has skillfully blended artistic traditions from Africa and the indigenous Americas into a unique synthesis. A synthesis characterized by a mix of storytelling, which he refers to as an informative lessons about the cosmogonic universes of ancestral cultures and their influence on popular culture. Bedia's art has been exhibited worldwide, including prestigious events like the Venice and Sao Paulo Biennales, as well as museums like the Museum of Modern Art, the Guggenheim, the Pompidou, the Metropolitan, the Whitney Museum, the Tate Modern, and the Smithsonian. I want to extend our heartfelt thanks to Bedia for his collaboration and support uh, with the Rice collection from the very beginning. And of course, thank you for your presence here with us today. So without any more delay, I'll pass the word to José Bedia.
Hi, thank you to having me here tonight. I am very happy to be here. Thank you for the direction of the museum. Thank you for the old friends, Gabi and the Rice family. Without her, this show would be impossible. She take a big decision to build this group of artists, and I am honored to be part of this group. So the show and the slideshow, the PowerPoint, what I'm going to show here today is about my links, my affinity with tribal art. This is my major influence from many years. I don't recognize other stronger influence more than the tribal art from people from Africa and Americas, and also from Asia. So there I'm going to make a brief introduction here on how this can start on me. and and I had this awful accident. This I can mention that I was sending as a soldier to Angola during the war in Angola in 1985 to 86. And I used that experience. I tried to convert that experience in something productive. I established the first link with the cultural people, the tribal people, the original people from different parts of the world, basically in that experience to be a soldier in the caravans who bring supply to the Cuban armies inside the Angolan territory. This is me there with my friends in the trucks and with the Muila women, the people from, it's a semi-nomadic group from southern Angola, Muila people. So from that time, I established like some kind of methodology to build my work based in the experience to meet people and experience the type of life what they have at the place. So that forced me to go to the place and meet the people with the first hand contact. And with that material, I take pictures, I take sketches, and I collect objects. With all this material, I come back and I produce my body of work. Those are a Muila woman, once again, with the classical decoration of the married women who have several children. Those pictures were taken for me by me in those years. There is me again with the Muila woman. And here is also using the same way to connect with cultures. I visit the northern part of Mexico, in the Sonoran Desert, with the Seri women, people. There is Amalia Astorga, the deceased Amalia Astorga, who was a shaman. He was a good friend of mine. And she introduced me with all the traditions of the Seri people. Those are the granddaughters. Here also from the northern Mexico. What is that sound? Sorry.
Back to the other side.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry. Oh, I see. These are Mayo and Yaqui Indians from northern Mexico, also from Sonora and Sinaloa, during the Holy Week celebration. and the deer dance. There's a classical deer dance from that culture. These are the Cora people from the Sierra Madre in Mexico, Nayarit, and the Huicholes also. I've been covered all those groups for more than one time, so I established a long relation with those people. I don't go just for one time, I go for many different. I spend many different trips in those communities, and I make contact with those people, and I try to understand the culture in general. These are the Tarahumara Indian from Chihuahua. These are the Cuna people from Panama. And this is here in South Dakota, my first contact with Native American people here, living in the house of the deceased shaman Leonard Crow Dog and his wife Mary Crow Dog, and I spend the time with the family and the kid and making the ceremony, the swell lodge, the pie ceremony, the Yuwipi ceremony. And here I show part of the link, the traditional material who came from Cuba. This is the pictures of Andrés Facundo Cristo de los Dolores Petit. He was a free mulatto man who used to be the connection between the black people and the white society, and how they established a link, a religious link from the very early in the late 19th century, around the 1876. He initiated the first white people inside the African tradition. This is quite unusual. And in Cuba, for us, it's very normal to be part of the African tradition, and not necessarily had to be racial, a black person. And this was the person who introduced that a new group of people in the ceremony. This is a Ngangan Kisi from the Congo tradition, and this is a Uncuyo Finda or Lucero Mundo from the Congo tradition. He was a priest in many different religions. He was also a priest in the Abacuan society. This is the Ireme of the Abacuan society. Ireme Osako. There is a Erivan Gando, the first Ireme who came out of the ceremony. And there is a young man who's going to be initiated, and they painting his body with chalk, or in Pemba, what is the name, traditional name, representing the cosmogram of the universe in his chest, in his back, and in the arms, and also on the roof of the house. And he is back again to Angola. I make a comparison between the elder from Angola, a couple of Muila elders, with my grandfather, the person who initiated me in Havana, the deceased Tata Alberto Goicochea and his family. So I was born in the religion through his hand and in that particular location in Havana. And this is me, and now visiting Botswana a year after the experience in Angola in 2004. Visit the Herero people in northern Botswana. And here I start to make the first approach to this type of community, making sketches, taking pictures and sketches. All this material going to be appear eventually in my own work later on. So I consider this like a part of the material where I used to work. There is the Ngangombo of the Luchasi people from Zambia. That picture was taken in Zambia. These are another Sangomas from the Umbukuch people from Botswana, and the Bushman Masawa from Botswana. Another Sangoma from Botswana. And it's a lady who have the traditional wig, what these people used to use. So until today, some members of the community still use that particular type of wig. And this is a healer who reading the oracle for me, surrendered by the family. And there is another healer who is reading the oracle in the yakisekula. It's like a little basket with little ingredients inside. We throw it in the air, and depending on the position of the object, he talk about the future of the person who asked for a particular type of question. And these are the kids who want to be circumcised during the Mukanda ceremony. So this is a process to introduce the kid in the community. and to teach the kid the roles. In this community, it's very important the role what they're going to have in the next future as an adult in the community. So they take the kid to the bush and they practice the circumcision, and then they keeping all the time the kid for a year, a period of a year, isolating the teaching the tradition of the tribe. And then at the end of the mukanda, it's like some kind of graduation. All the makichi, all the characters show up, and from those characters, the kid learning why they have to be accepted in life and how they have to be reject certain aspects. So it's different characters who appear, performing certain movements, and they have to assimilate which one is good or desirable, or which one is, that has to be rejected. And this is the Moana Po, the beautiful woman. And there is the elder Malia Chitofu. She was like my grandfather, my grandma, sorry, when I was there in the community. These are all the pictures from the same ceremony. My sketch. The Simonda is a character who represents all the tribes near the Chokwe, the Losi people. This is the Uteno. So all those sketches was taken there in the field, and the pictures were taken by me. And here they start to produce a group of paintings related with that particular experience what I have in Zambia and also in Botswana. I spent 3 trips in both countries. So I painting straight with the hands. I try to don't use brush. I take the measure in the traditional way how they take the picture with the measure of the thing with the hands and the proportion between the fingers. This is the way how the women painting the house, their houses in the village. So I made some kind of weaving, spread out the painting with my fingers, and make like a edge with the decoration, the same type of decoration what I saw in the houses in the area. I'm saying with one of the characters who represent the elder, the superior elder who are be respected in the community. So they have like a mute face with 2 little horns, related with the antelope from the bush. And there is a big painting what I made related with that particular picture, was taken by an anthropologist who is a friend of mine, Manuel Jordan. He took me there to that place, and he introduced me later on with those people. But I take the picture from him, I made the painting, and later on I met the real people in the community. That is in the Zambeze River, in the border with Angola. So I play with the idea also the collage. I make a tiny collage of directly on the painting, suggesting some kind of perspective with the landscape. In where you can see the men dressing under the big costume. You can see the person in transparency under the costume. This is the Musiri. I made large scale of figure like that. This is a Nyombo. It's an old picture from the Belgian colonial time. They make like some kind of coffin for the elder before to put it in the grave. They put the body of the person, the very important person in the community, inside that particular giant doll. That is an Nkisi Conde with the knife and the nails. And here's the hunter. A hunter was used to meet on the road. He carried with his bow and arrow and his hunting dog. So I make a symbiosis of the hunter and the dog in the same figure, because he followed the trace of the animal in the bush. He had to develop some kind of knowledge and capacity that unfortunately, we lost that thing, but the people have it.
I'm so sorry. We're having problems. Higher this time.
Okay.
I apologize.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. He is a poacher. a person who get in trouble in the community who is supposed to don't kill certain animals. An animal like a rhino is something very desirable, but it's also putting in problem the community and the main guy who commit that crime. So it's prohibited certain type of hunting activity in certain areas. And here's the guy carried with the head of the rhino as a mask on him. It's another guy representing Chivinda Ilunga, the pristine supreme hero from the Chokwe people, shooting down an elephant. And that is the main hunter with the rifle on the shoulder. The Chokwe have some particular kind of hunting society. And the very important thing of the society to have an old rifle from the Portuguese time, the 18th century. So improving the capacity of the hunter in the bush. So one man can kill an elephant with one shot. Before of that, they required the whole village to put it down an animal like that. So, and here's the link with also with the cave painting from the period of the Bushman people in Botswana. So I make a comparison between the picture what I take in the field in Soliro Hills in Botswana with my own painting. And I try to recreate that particular idea of the landscaping in Africa. For me, I was impressed of the wide angle of the space, how the animal moving in the 180 degrees from one place to the other. You have the whole panoramic view in front. That is some kind of cheetah making like a sculpture, who is like a permanent guard looking in the distance, the gazelle crossing by. With the spirit, you can see the spirit flying away, like a profile of the person. Here's a lion looking at the mutilated head of some kind of unknown sculpture. A lion who has a thorn in one of the leg, and the trickster is removing the thorn from the leg. Another lion with a trickster. I make a relation between big animal and big profile of animal and human who represent some kind of landscape. And on top of that big figure, you can see little people moving around. There is like the trickster is like a history telling the story to the lion. He's looking, pay attention to what he's saying. And this is me there painting and honoring in the family. We make a collaboration in the house of the Chitofu family, who have a long link with the kingdom of the Lunda people from Angola and Congo. So I paint a red lion, helping by the deceased Benfrey Chitofu. He used to be my friend. He was a great artist. I have many drawings from him. This is me in Kenya and Tanzania with the Maasai people. I'm representing the Maasai in my own interpretation. This is an old picture from Leo Frobenius, who was a famous German anthropologist who visited Northern Africa in the beginning of the 20th century. And those are women of Kordofan dancing the same type of erotic dance, the women playing and dancing by themselves. So the picture is over there, and it's included in a little corner over there on top of the hand of the figure. So I tried to inlay the picture, and what I tried to recreate is the idea that something static, like an old picture from the 18th century, can come alive again with my drawing. And this is what I tried to do, activate the picture in some way. And this is an ironic drawing where I make in relation with the presence of the Italian soldiers in Ethiopia during the war in Ethiopia, and they make fun of the women. In Africa, the breast in women is not necessarily something erotic. It's something to feed in the kid. So they take advantage of the ignorance of the poor women, and they hold in the breast to the picture. And that's why I called that drawing the colonial paradise. And the guy is like a skeleton in the middle between the two beautiful women holding the breast in the center. And this is me, myself. So I put it myself, including the same condition with the picture where I take it. The jackass that I used to be. And that's why it titled in Angola, 1985 to 86. This is a classical, stupid kind of attitude what the soldier have in places like that, you know. And this is the show what I make after I come back from Zambia, where I included a big scale of painting with the costume and the mask what I acquired in the field. So I like a lot the idea to combine my own work with traditional tribal material. I did that more than one time. There is the picture of the hunter and there is the drawing where I made about him. These are the dancers, the makichi. These are the lega masks from Congo. The inquisis with the rising hand with the spear in the offensive kind of witchcraft what they use in the area. This is the installation what they have in the Birmingham Museum in Alabama from me. It's an installation of the spirit connected with the people who tried to leave Cuba in a little boat. So I put an image of the Indian and the black elder in the boat, and they pulling the string from the corner. I try to recreate the idea of the sense of perspective in the opposite way of the logical. In the Western society, they teach us to use the vanishing point in the distance. So I inverse that term. I put the vanishing point in the back. So all the angle can open in front of me in a different way. And the torso is like a twin figure with two heads. It's also the mask of the deer, of the sacred animal from the bush. Everything is painted once again straight with the hands, with no rectification. I had to do it exactly in the place, taking measure with my hands. I use the idea of symmetry also a lot. This is a view of my house. With the material what I have been acquired after all the years. Those are the rifles from Angola and Zambia. So this, for me, more than a collection, is a body of work where I surrender me, and I eventually all the things going to come naturally influencing me day by day. They have some of those masks here at the museum, the Mende mask from the Mende people, the Bundu mask from Liberia. Those are the Chokwe masks. With the character supposed to be accepted or rejected by the kid. One of the characters used to be rejected is the pig. So don't behave as a pig. If you saw a pig, don't behave like him. Or if you saw a monkey, don't behave as a monkey. And also don't behave as a white man. Behave as our hero, Ibindi Lunga, or Chisaluke. Those are, now it's a series of drawings. Those drawings are from the period 1976, that in that time, I've been living in Cuba and I have no chance to go and visit the places. So I take, I copy a place from books. And this is a recreation what I make about the ruin from Guatemala and Palenque in Mexico. And those are pictures from the Amazonic Indian, when they use the Genipapo, the painting directly with the picture. So the whole work is like a link between the main native person painting with his fingers and the picture taken by the anthropologist, linking together. And also including the tracks of the animal. I copied the track of my own dog in that time, using like a stamp. I also use, sorry. This is a type of style what I developed around 1984, right after I being initiated by the Ngangangombo, Alberto Cochea you saw in the previous picture. I started to draw the simplicity of the concept of the cosmogram of the universe in the Congo people, with the Nganga in the middle and the cardinal points. and the person who became invulnerable against the weapons. The self-recognition of the person looking at a pond in the water, looking himself as an animal, like an animal soul in linking with the person. And how in Dutch culture, they don't consider the space empty. Everything is full of spirit. So no matter he's sleeping, he's observed by many spirits who flying around. So the title of that is the room is not empty. Conversation with the dog. The double is the guy who punish another person, sending some particular force as a spell against the potential enemy. This is the drawing what I make with the turtle, who draw on top of the paper by himself. I put it ink in the turtle and let him walk freely. So I try to control the direction of the turtle, and also with the snake. And I'm trying to talk here about the multiplicity of the symbol, the very simple symbols. The spiral can be a shell, a wind, the hurricane, and the snake. And also the horseshoe can be a horseshoe, a vagina, a rainbow, and a cave. And here it can be 2 ears, 2 mountains, 2 breasts, 2 houses. So I try to talk about this something very simple, have many different meanings, parallels. In each stone, there's a guy picking the stone from the ground, but you can see each stone have a little profile, have a little spirit living inside. And the same person will move in 2 different environments. In the urban environment of the city, with building a car, and in the wilderness, walking with the same energy. More deep inside you, mucho más dentro de ti. Is the person who try to go inside the mind of another person, in this case, a woman. And this is the part of the Congo tradition. The knowledge of certain things came through the person through the ear. Even Sambi Munansulu, the god, the main god, send the knowledge to the man through the ear. They send the person naked to the ground, to the earth, and they put their knowledge, only giving just a present, the knowledge through the ear, the Nkutu. Nkutu from Sambi Munansulu. And this is a person who live in Cuba with his religious material carried to the other side. So in some way, I visualize myself in those years when I've been in the transition moment to living my neighborhood in Havana, in Alamar, with awful neighbors of this type of socialist building who look all the same, moving across the water to Mexico. And it was in between. I was unsure. That's why I have the person putting 1 feet in the main country and putting the other feet in the new territory. This is the history of the cultural hero, all the aspects of the cultural hero, how he resting, learning, praying to God, reproduce, fight with the enemy, and transmit his knowledge to a kid. It's like a cartoon, so I use the idea of the cartoon many times. This is a fox, what I used to see around my neighborhood in Miami. So they develop the whole area. So certain wild animals, they move around, and the dog barking to the fox. So he's a stranger now, but in fact, he owned the territory. This happened in many occasions. Also happened with the people, with the Native American people, for example. And here they say the fox going to school with the dogs, but he don't pay attention what the teacher telling to him. So he's drawing and have this kind of visionary and fantasy coming out of his head. And the other dog bullying on him. This is the idea of the corral from the African places where I used to be in South Africa and also in Tanzania and Kenya with the Maasai people. So the main corral is like the mouth of something who protect the animals inside during the night against the wildlife. This is about Mexico, the deer dancer. The guy what you saw it before in the previous picture. The link relation of the springtime. All this series, it made is amate paper. Amate paper is a bar paper produced by the Otomí Indian from La Sierra de Puebla in Mexico. It's the only group. It's the only group who still know how to make the traditional pre-Hispanic paper. The paper was they used to use for the pre-Hispanic codes. So I use that paper quite a lot. Linking blue. So it's a person, the torso of the human being making with blue dots, and the snake is coming to the shoulder. That is the idea of the gift of the Virgin. The Virgin began like a fountain, and the butterfly came to drink water in the fountain. And the fountain filled in her arm, coming out from her breast. The solitary sailor, followed by the navy. So once again, the contrast between something technological, powerful, and big, with something humble and simple, like a person in a sailboat. And he was shooting, they burning the sail with a laser shots. Nobody can be the hand of God. So it's a person who tried to rise in something he cannot carry. So it's some kind of metaphor about the certain incapacity what the people have, because they cannot compete with God. And the main hand of God is so big, and it's made with multiple hands. So in that case, my own print, of the print of my hand, he tried to rise it up, but he can't. So it's something impossible to hold it in a simple human being. This is related with the famous lullaby song from Cuba. Talking about, it's a song who's supposed to be a song to sing it to the kid who refuses to go to bed. And he's telling Mama, the little black girl, it don't fit anymore in the cradle because he grows so much. For me, it's the perfect metaphor of what's going on in my own country. That little girl who's supposed to be the people, the Cuban people, the country cannot hold it there anymore. So that little girl grows so much and became like a giant woman who came out of the cradle. And it's out of control completely, and the government cannot do nothing, only to keep the promise. If you go to sleep, tomorrow I'm going to bring you a cradle, and it never happened. And this is what happened. For me, that is a metaphor of what happened with after all 64 years of revolution in Cuba. The permanent hope was something going to be better, but nothing happened at the end. And the years on top is the year of the independence against the Spanish. The year when the revolution started, and the actual year where I made the drawing. This is a drawing, the homeless trapped in the middle of the benefit marathon. So the people looking so fancy and dressing properly to be in marathons to some kind of benefit cause, but the homeless going reverse, spreading his stink and his dust around in the spiral, going against the stream, carried with one of those cars. Here are you saw the picture before of my house. I tried to recreate one of the shelf of my house with the mask, where my favorite mask, working with the amate paper. And this is once again the permanent drama of the Cuban migration. It's a person meditated in front of his empty breakfast, and he visualized himself leaving the country in a plate, and the cup of coffee is the main engine of the boat. Travel, Journey in a Breakfast is the title of that painting. Island Playing to a War is another reference to my own country. Lucero viene alumbrando the starlight, coming spreaded light. Now this is in the permanent collection of NSU Museum in Fort Lauderdale. The stupor of the little Cuba in the foreign territory. So it's the kind of a shocking moment of the person who had to live in his own country and moving to other place. And he's totally in shock, holding two little bags with some religious material inside. This is the peyote ceremony that I used to practice that ceremony with the Native American people here in the Native American church. This is a moment of some manifestation of the peyote come out, and the guy is praying on the knee of that type of figure who look like a virgin. The blue hope the blue bird of hope, flying from one place to the other, from where they come from, where they go. So I try to model also the canvas in certain shapes, like semicircle or round tondos. It's a view of the city, looking from the top. Certain spirits manifest in making a storm over the city. That is a portrait of the Cuban family looking watching the news in TV. It's like a metaphor of the long wait. The last chapter is like a soap opera with that name. The last chapters, but the last chapter never came out. So eventually the grandma already don't pay attention anymore what's going on. And even the dog and the elegua is looking at the TV. You see the little figure in front. Any place out of here. It's a person who has two bags, and he going in a whole of some kind of airport with all the names of different doors with different destinies. When I left Havana, this is another soap opera, but I don't want to sing in here, but it's about the person who left Havana and he had to sell his own boots and a little puppy to somebody else. And then he said, I spent the money and I don't have the boot anymore and I lost my. That is the idea of the hare running against the turtle, the famous fable about the competition between two animals with the number of the Fibonacci code. That is the idea of the inquisi, the gang inquisi, the cauldron, fill it up with the ingredients. Coming back to the neighbor. So this is a dream what I used to have, that I visualize myself going back to the neighborhood in Havana, carried with some present, but the neighbor was completely empty. I was alone in the middle of the street. A city of power, says a guy on top of the hill. Gangangombo is a person who has the connection between many other persons and even animals. So he has a link to connect him as a spider web with the mind of different animals and persons. Pregnant women, a horseman, un homo. Señora Chichicate. Chichicate is a plant who is from Central America and from the bush in Cuba. It's a very green plant, very attractive plant, but if you touch it, you can be poisoned. So it's like a metaphor of something very attractive, but better to leave it alone. The same thing, it's like a being of nature surrounded by thorns. People who thinking to make a house on his own idea, so they modulate the space, and the woman is pregnant. This is something that happens in certain moment of the young couples. They make a family and they have to build a house, and the whole thing is under construction. Though that's why I have the cement color still. Mato Tatanka is one of the paintings where I used to do using the influence of the Leonard Crodot from South Dakota. A man with the hair. The master with the disciple and master. The view of it's a metaphor of my own country of Cuba, like a beautiful woman who offered herself to the shooting star. A pregnant woman offer a present to the wild animal, like a lion. So he putting down the force of the wild animal in favor of the woman. The Inquisi, another Inquisi. The Ñombo. And here's the series of installation. This installation is in Havana. In 1986, I received an award in the Biennale of Havana with that particular installation. And it was in Magiciens de la Terre in Paris in 1989. So I tried to combine image painting straight on the wall and physical 3D object put in between, like a person is elder transmitted oral knowledge to the ear of the young kid. It's like a bridge carried with that particularly sacred Afro-Cuban object to the other side. The views America. America is fighting against the three boats can be the ship of Columbus, but modeling like the contemporary battleships. And the animal of America is branded with the name of America. Something completely wrong because, and this is the same, the idea of the crucifixion was animal skin, cougar, lynx, and jaguar. This is another installation from Mexico in relation with the 500th anniversary of the school in 1992. It's like a kid who was punished by the teacher to write it 100 times on the wall and on the blackboard. Long life to the 500th anniversary. The rap people who left Cuba. So this is installation that Ruel's collection is made with a main raft standing in the middle like a big figure of Elegua with one of the sacred elements from the Afro-Cuban tradition. There is another one with an upside-down kayak. The little revenge of the periphery is a classical idea of the Eurocentric concept of the white man in the center with all the other Russian group around, the Native American, the Australian, the Asian, and the African. Another idea about the people who live in Cuba, that chest, in the chest of the figure is made by the side of the boats, what I found in the beach in Miami. There is a detail. This is about Babalu Aye with the scorches. This was in the Man Museum in Miami, 1993. That is an NSU museum in Fort Lauderdale. So once again, I combined that type of thin element who came out of the wall, like a 3D drawing, who came to the front, connecting with the figure made with the big splash on the back. That particular one was made with dust, red ochre, a big pile of red ochre in the gallery. That was an aircraft carrier, what I made. In the idea, I make a funny, ironic idea to send, instead to send a bomb to my country, to send an aircraft carrier to supply for food. So all the Cuban product was easy to find in Miami, made by Cuban families, but they don't produce that type of product anymore in Cuba. So I pretend the idea to bomb in my own country with food like that. And this is part of the Susie Rice collection. This is about the people who pretend to get inside the country, inside the trucks, and they die there. They happen quite often from Mexico to the United States. And this is like a kid of culture from my country, who was somebody who had to be forced to leave the country, carry with this basic knowledge of religion and tradition in a little box. So this is the exterior view and the interior view of the box. A guy, once again, the same drama of the migration from Cuba, also ending in that condition, eaten by the sharks. And these are related with the Somalian pirates. I make a series of that. The tiny people claiming on the boat of one big cargo in the Indian Ocean. I like a lot the idea to make big monster machine of war in that particular scale, and it looked like some kind of mute mass looking from the front. And this about my own experience in Angola. This is a memory from my own experience because I was in a tank unity, and this is supposed to be me giving some present to the local people. And these are a metaphor of the certain African proverbs, like don't make fun of the crocodile because you have to use his river. This is the advice of the mother to the kid. the magical kid is a kid who has some kind of power to put it down, the force of the crocodile and also the gorilla. He draw on top of the gorilla. This is the same idea of the draw we want to have here. Somebody he cannot take it any longer. It's a guy shooting the news. He's tired about the same news. A monument of emancipation is like a Haitian woman who decapitated the owner of his plantation. The idea of Lilith as a supreme whore woman, many with throwing the painting on them like piece of clay. And the same island, but in the case printed by the same idea of I visualize my own country, the island, like a old, distant profile of a giant person. This is the installation related to José Aponte, who is a national hero who's supposed to be executed by the beginning of the 19th century. And this is a big installation where I have now the Museum of the Cuban Diaspora in Miami. They give me the whole wall, and it's permanent. It's made. There is the drawing we saw before. It's about the Magiciens, the people who fight against the Spanish for the Cuban independence. And this is it. Thank you. If you have any question, I am willing to answer. If it's not, thank you to be here today. Thank you. I hope you can enjoy the show.